Nobody was ready for what happened that night. Not the fans inside the stadium, not the millions watching online, and honestly, maybe not even Taehyung and Jungkook themselves. Because what started as a normal concert ending slowly turned into one of the most emotional Taekook moments fans have seen in a very long time. Even after the final song ended, even after the fireworks disappeared into the night sky, nobody wanted to leave. The stadium was still glowing purple as thousands of armies continued singing together, hoping the night wouldn't end. And then, Taehyung and Jungkook walked back to the center of the stage one more time. The crowd instantly exploded. Their faces looked exhausted after such a long night, but at the same time, there was something different in their expressions. Something emotional, something almost heartbreaking. Taehyung stood quietly for a moment, staring at the ocean of purple lights in front of him like he was trying to memorize every single face in the crowd. Then, he slowly lifted the microphone, and the entire stadium became silent. There aren't enough polite words in English to explain this properly. His voice sounded soft, almost shaky. So, I just want to say this to all of you. A few seconds passed. Then Taehyung smiled sadly before saying the words that completely destroyed the audience. "We missed you so much." The reaction was immediate. Screams, crying, fans covering their faces while trying not to break down emotionally. Because those weren't just random words. You could actually feel the sincerity in his voice. After everything BTS has been through, after all the time apart, after all the waiting, that moment felt real. And honestly, that's what made it unforgettable. Jungkook looked around the stadium while hearing the crowd scream louder and louder. Then he smiled softly and added something that made the entire moment even more emotional. "Next time, will you wait for us again?" The second he said that, the entire stadium erupted. Thousands of fans immediately started yelling yes. Some people were literally crying while screaming the answer back at them, because every army in that stadium already knew the truth. No matter how long it takes, they would always wait for Taehyung and Jungkook. Always. And for a few seconds, it didn't even feel like a concert anymore. It felt like a deeply personal conversation between two artists and the people who truly love them. Then suddenly, Taehyung tried to lighten the mood. He started laughing while randomly bringing up minions. Who was first? Who was first? Jungkook immediately burst into laughter and pointed at Taehyung while the crowd started laughing with them. It was such a small moment, but somehow, it made everything feel even more emotional. Because that's what Taekook does best. Even in the middle of emotional chaos, they still find a way to make people smile. And fans online instantly noticed how comfortable they looked around each other that night. The constant eye contact, the little smiles, the way Jungkook kept looking at Taehyung while he talked. It honestly felt less like two global superstars on stage, and more like two people trying to hold on to a moment they didn't want to lose. But then, the atmosphere shifted again. Jungkook looked down for a second before quietly saying something nobody wanted to hear. "It's time to end the show now." Instantly, the entire stadium screamed, "No." And honestly, that reaction says everything. Nobody was emotionally prepared for goodbye, not after a night like that. Taehyung looked back at the fans one more time before softly asking, "You're sad too, right?" And hearing tens of thousands of people scream back at once created one of the loudest moments of the entire night. Because everyone felt the same emotion, the sadness, the love, the fear of the moment ending. For fans, this wasn't just another concert. It was a memory they would carry forever. A place where they felt understood. A place where they felt connected. A place where, even for a few hours, nothing else in the world mattered except the music and the people beside them. Jungkook smiled gently before saying, "We enjoyed this so much. So, I think that's enough." And somehow, that simple sentence hit harder than anything else, because you could hear how genuine he sounded. No performance voice, no scripted speech, just Jungkook speaking honestly from the heart. Then Taehyung suddenly made everyone laugh again by saying, "We love you, Taeko." The crowd instantly exploded with laughter. Even Jungkook couldn't stop smiling. And that moment perfectly captured why fans love Taekook so much. One second they make you cry, the next second they make you laugh through your tears. The emotional balance between them that night felt unreal. Then Taehyung looked back at the audience and said something fans still haven't stopped talking about. "Thank you for spending your first moments with us. And let's continue meeting each other for a very long time." The second those words came out, fans immediately started crying again. Because it didn't sound like a goodbye. It sounded like a promise. A promise that no matter what happens in the future, they'll come back. And maybe the most emotional part wasn't even the words themselves. It was the way Taehyung and Jungkook kept looking at each other while speaking. Like they both understood exactly how important that moment was. Then Jungkook quietly added, "Please stay healthy." And Taehyung quickly responded, "You too." The crowd melted instantly, because even their small interactions felt warm and comforting. Then Taehyung smiled softly and said, "Only good things will come." And for a few seconds, the stadium became surprisingly calm, almost peaceful, like everyone was trying to freeze time. Then came the moment that completely shattered the audience emotionally. Taehyung looked out into the crowd and softly whispered, "I love you." The stadium exploded. Fans were screaming, crying, jumping, hugging each other. And Jungkook immediately smiled and added, "We love you too." At that point, it honestly didn't feel real anymore. The energy inside that stadium was overwhelming. There was no distance between artist and fan anymore. No barriers, no walls. Just thousands of people sharing the exact same emotion at the exact same moment. Then Jungkook waved softly and said, "See you next time." Such a simple sentence, but somehow it carried so much emotion. Because for fans, "See you next time" means hope. Hope that these memories aren't over yet. Hope that another beautiful night like this will happen again someday. Then, before leaving the stage, Taehyung and Jungkook stood side by side one final time. The music in the background became quieter. The lights slowly dimmed. And Taehyung spoke one last time. "Before we leave this stage, we truly want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts." At that moment, the camera showed fans throughout the stadium openly crying. Some couldn't even sing anymore because they were too emotional. "Thank you for coming all this way. Thank you for singing our songs with us. Thank you for cheering for us. And thank you for giving us so much love." You could hear the emotion cracking in their voices. And honestly, that's what made the moment unforgettable. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't polished. It was real. Then Jungkook added one final message that completely broke the internet after the concert ended. Most importantly, thank you for loving our music and performances. Because of you, every stage feels meaningful. And because of you, we'll never forget tonight. The crowd immediately erupted into tears and cheers again. Taehyung and Jungkook kept waving at the audience even while the ending music started playing. And honestly, it looked like they didn't want to leave either. They kept turning around to look at the fans again and again, trying to hold on to the moment just a little longer. Then, finally, with the entire stadium screaming their names one last time, Taehyung smiled, Jungkook bowed deeply, and together they softly said, "We love you. See you again. Stay healthy and happy." Thank you, everyone. The lights slowly faded. The stage became dark, but nobody moved, because deep down, everyone knew they had just witnessed something special. Not just a concert, not just another viral moment, but a memory that millions of fans will probably carry for the rest of their lives. And even now, people still can't move on from that emotional night between Taehyung, Jungkook, and ARMY.